How many opportunities have you lost because you simply didn't follow up?
Yeah, and how many landowners, investors, agents, and potential clients have said not right now, and you failed to follow up?
This is Property Developers Playbook. I'm Jonathan Stobbs.
And I'm Kieron Shepherd.
This is the podcast where we talk about the business of property development. So whether you're just getting started or looking to scale, this episode is for you.
So yeah, if you're new to the podcast, welcome. And if you're joining us again, welcome back. Glad you're here. So tell your friends, like, share, and follow.
Yep. So in today's episode, we're talking about one of the most overlooked skills in business, not just property development, but probably in everything that we do. And that's the follow-up, because this is ultimately where money is made the most, I think.
Yeah. And
especially when it comes to doing deals, getting things.
I think that's
forward.
The key, isn't it? It's the deal.
Yeah.
I think in business, the deal is key, and too many people don't follow up.
No. But before we get into that, we've first got to admit that our production manager, Faith, isn't with us today. So if the video looks off, it's because I've done it, and this is not my forte.
Yeah, and I'm blaming her for my lack of reading skills, and also for the sound equipment. And we can certainly blame her for not having a question for us.
Yeah, and we don't have a question of the week.
No big question of the week.
Yeah,
but we've got a stat, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got a stat, which is, every industry is very different. I've just got a stat that relates to sales, and that is 80% of sales requires 5 or more touch points. I know you spoke about this before. Well, 5 or more follow-up attempts, yet 44% of salespeople give up after the first try.
I said that's a big...
It is big. Imagine how much sales could be done
if
people actually did follow up or had those points.
And I think... we'll probably talk about it a bit more, but I think it's a cultural thing as well, isn't it? I mean, certainly in Britain, we're a little bit like, respect people and no is no, and I still think it's high though.
Yeah, I think no should be not right now, like you were saying.
I mean, I hear no is not right now every time.
Yeah. Other people say no stands for new opportunities.
New opportunity. I like that.
So we'll dive straight in. Why do follow-ups matter? And I think it's just because, as we're saying, most people quit too early. They don't do the follow-up, and they just think a no is no. Yeah,
and I think from the sort of customer or client or whoever you're approaching, agent, whoever it might be, I think we have a default mode to no is a protective thing. And I think we all do it. If we're approached with something, you just need to put a bit of space between that sort of ask, that request that's come in, or that invitation. And it's like that, somebody might invite you to go out for dinner, and your first thing is, I don't know, I might have plans, and it's just to put a buffer. It's not saying you don't want to or you're not going to. And I think that's where no comes from. It's just a buffer, and it's just a bit of space.
Automatic kind of fail-safe, effectively.
Defense, isn't it? It's almost a bit, the fail-safe, like that. Just hold you off a little bit. So...
But this mustn't stop you from pushing forward. If you ever want to succeed in anything, you need to persevere, be persistent to a point, and we'll touch on that a little bit later in the episode. It's not about being annoying or anything like that. People are always busy, and you just need to respect their time and understand what the situation is, and basically go from that. So I think the other thing that the reason they stop is people hate rejection. It's one of the biggest things, isn't it? It's being rejected and feeling like no one wants your services or whatever it is, and they don't kind of carry on, knowing that ultimately what you've got can help the other person. And this is part of what it is, just understanding what that person's needs are, and actually does your services or products serve their needs? Because if it doesn't, then obviously there's no point kind of pursuing it, but if it does, then there's definitely something to carry on there.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? Having that confidence in knowing that your service or your product, whatever it is, you've got to have confidence in it. You've got to approach it like that and think, no, this person could benefit from it. And I also think it's different as well if you're sort of cold calling or you're pitching to a cold customer that, not a warm lead. That's very different to when it is a warm or a hot lead. If somebody's actually approached you for a service and then, putting your offerings on the table, and then that's almost it's a maybe straight away. So I sort of look at it like that every time. I try and think of it that me and that customer have already had that conversation, and it's a maybe already. We're moving forward.
In the property development world, follow-up is key, because you'll see an agent or meet an investor at a networking event or speak to a landowner, you put in your offers or send your letters, knock on the door, anything like that. And if they come back and say it's not something that we're looking to pursue now, then you need to put something in your calendar that allows you to come back to them and follow up. And this is ultimately something we do regularly. One of the sites we offered on last year, and we're still following up with the agents going, has it moved on? We're still interested. We really want to kind of take it forward. And this ultimately, again, shows interest to agents that you are still interested and you are still in the game effectively.
Yeah, still keen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is a long game. Kieron's had a site that was, I think it was like 2 years ago, they approached you, decided to go into the market, put it on the market, had a few offers that weren't really ticking the boxes. And it was only 2 years later that they came back to you, and we're now in discussions with them. So you need to be putting those breadcrumbs out there and just really testing the water continuously, saying what you do, what you're looking for, and that people can come to you with those opportunities. Like I say, with landowners, initial rejection, it's, again, not right now. Timing's changed. Things happen in life. You need to follow up with that. A year could go past and something's happened. Again, a landowner's parent passed away and it got handed down to the children. And then the children are like, they don't want the land. They want to be able to do something. So if you keep those touch points, then that very much allows you to be front of mind. And that's ultimately what you always want to do, is be front of mind.
Yeah, that's right. Because the first, second, even maybe third touch point might, like you said, they might be busy. That's always my problem. When people want to sell me something, I just haven't got time. So what I try and do is I try and say to them, could you give me a call back? So it's in the back of my mind, and then they'll call me again. I'm always helping them out and saying that, I'm giving you your next touch point, because right now I'm just way too busy to sort of process this properly. So that's where a lot of people are. They're either too busy, or like you say, they could be in a different emotional sort of state in their mind, and you've got to be conscious of that. So, and even you've got different sort of time frames, haven't you? So in the day, some people have quieter times in the evenings, mornings, and it's hard if you don't know someone, if if it's just picking up a phone. But I think it's worth, when you program that calendar call, that milestone, to give them a call again. Maybe do it at a different time. If you called them at lunchtime before, maybe call them in the late afternoon or early morning. There's certain times in the day where I definitely have more time to take a call and speak to someone than I do in other times. So, and again, that's the same within the week. Mondays and Fridays are pretty much wiped out for me.
Mondays are generally busy for everyone.
Really busy for everyone.
Back from the weekend.
I don't think that's probably a great day for sales calls.
No.
I think Tuesday's a good day.
Yeah.
Most productive day of the week, they say. But I just think Tuesday's a good day, because generally people don't feel that day. They leave it a bit open. The same with the month, the start and end of months, terrible time, because you've got lots of processing, lots of things you're doing as business people, deadlines to meet.
Targets to meet,
So yes, timing is crucial, I think.
Yeah. Estate agents or commercial agents, again, it might be a case of just touch points, keeping front of mind. If anything comes across their desks, you want to be the first person that they come to. If you have made an offer on a site, it's then just following up on that, if there's been any kind of feedback, and if you can arrange a meeting with the vendors. I know some people decide to go into agents and take them some donuts or something like that, but definitely they are your bread and butter in the sense of leads that could come through. And if you can be front of mind, it just becomes a great resource for opportunities.
Yeah, people do like sweetening up, don't they?
They do. Or coffee. A coffee even is great. Meet up for a coffee.
I used to get that a lot, A lot of people, a lot of suppliers in construction will bring you cookies and donuts and stuff. Yeah,
we've had, juicing.
Yeah, juicing
very good at that.
Yeah, we would bring a pasty, didn't they?
Yeah. You can't go wrong in Cornwall with a pasty.
Pasties, bring us a pasty.
Yeah,
I don't really do the donuts, never have, not my thing, and I don't really like the cookies, but bring the pasties, guys. That's what we want, more pasties.
The other side of things on property developments is obviously you need investors. So if you've met people through networking, or if someone's reached out to you, definitely have those regular touch points. One thing that we did with one of our investors that reached out to us is we took them to our site. Now what we did, rather than getting into one car and traveling around together, they drove in their car, we drove in our car, went to a couple of sites, and then went for a lunch, and that automatically becomes 3 touch points in one single day. And it just allows that to fast forward the relationship effectively.
Yeah, and again, we're not saying there's one size fits all for the pitch or the sales. For us, we quite like to almost do that as an introductory. Like there's no right by the end of that meal, sign this please. It's a case of this is what we're doing. This is an introduction. There's no pressure here. We're just showing you, and then just let it happen organically. Let them ask the questions. You're almost presenting, aren't you? You're showing. It's a bit of a show and tell. And then if they ask questions, then they're interested. Or they may say, look, this looks really great, and these are the reasons why I'm not actively pushing forward now. But and they'll let you know when the time's right. So
the biggest thing is building relations, having that kind of rapport, so they can see who you are and what you're about, and likewise, you've got to make sure that you want to work with them long term.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they're people that you'd want to invest with, work with. But it's through these multiple touch points you discuss opportunities, and again, they might not be in a position right now, or you might not have an opportunity right now for them, and it's just keeping that relationship, because it's all about timing. You need to be looking for the opportunities and raising the finance at the same time. Building your professional team. I know we're banging on about this a lot on our podcast, but get out there networking. I had a contact from someone recently looking to get more involved in property development, and one of the biggest things I said is you need to be networking. Even if it's just to build your professional team or connections within the industry. That then could lead to collaborations, could lead to joint ventures. There might be people at the networking event who don't have the time but have the money, and if you've got more time, you'd be able to offer that to them through the joint venture opportunities.
And usually the cost of networking is time, bit of time outside of work hours, because they're usually held in the evenings. If they're sort of formal networking events, and small fee, or it's usually just inviting someone or a couple of people to a coffee shop. So it's the cost of coffee, and it's the cost of a coffee. Not saying you have to take them to cost of coffee.
No advertisements here.
No, but so it's very straightforward. But it is going that little extra bit. It's always you've got to give more. You've got to be outside of normal working hours a lot of the time, and it's going that extra little bit. Taking someone for a coffee, for a lunch. We were actually invited to a networking event recently through the accountants, which was really good. We met lots of new people and introduced to new businesses, and we actually we took our media company there. Just to do we just did a little free promo for them, just to sort of show them what the media company can do, and I thought that was just a really nice thing, good. Just it's a little freebie for them to advertise the networking event, because they want to do it. Is it monthly or quarterly?
Yeah, monthly.
Monthly, is it? So they want to do it more often. So it just gives them a little bit of footage there, little lovely little production that they can throw out to new people, and show off what we do. So that's another thing. I think that's actually a massive thing. Is little freebies are big,
show
big
your value before asking for anything. Always give value. I mean, how many times have people gone to networking events, got a whole bunch of business cards, and they just go onto a shelf and you don't actually do anything with them?
Yeah, stay in a pocket, and then the washing machine eats them. Which I still love. I'm old school. I still love the branded cups and the pens, and I know some people think they're tacky, but certainly in our industry, in the construction industry, you're always scrabbling for a pen. They're always on site. And I can't remember who it was now, but there used to be a supplier that used to pop into our sites and give all our guys little notepads, size of a phone, little notepad to go in your pocket, and lots of little pencils, a bit like the IKEA pencils, which everyone nicks. They love them. And I always think that's great. And do you know what? Like for branding and suppliers, if you were to do like little tape measures, because the guys go through tape measures, they're always looking at it and thinking, I'll nip to that supplier. And it's the same thing in any business. If you offer a service, or you just want something that reminds them, think a little bit outside the box. Something that you can again spend a little bit of money on, but give a pen to everyone, or something that reminds them you're there. Just have a think about it.
As we said at the beginning, this is all about the business of property development. Businesses run on systems and processes. This is no different. So if you're going to networking events, make a note of them, who you meet there. If you're meeting investors or landowners, have a CRM or a spreadsheet at the least, just where you can make little notes as to what the latest catch-up or comment was. It definitely helps. And that can also, that you can then put in reminders like follow up in a month, or follow up in 2 months, or if you've made an offer, follow up, set dates that you can go back to the relevant person, just update them. That's what's happening.
And again, keep that simple, but have like you said, diarise and calendarize. Is that what?
That is now.
It is now. Milestone in that calendar of when you are going to get back to them, or approach them in a different way. We do this with the windows and door side. We'll send an email, phone call, and sometimes even a written letter, handwritten letter, depending on who you're approaching and how you're approaching them. And then also just a very simple, just traffic light system, or a cold, warm, hot, something of just sort of to give you when you go back to that system, that process or spreadsheet, it tells you where you're up to, like how close you're getting to where you need to be.
There are software like Monday.com. You could create these boards, and you can just shift the boards along depending on where they are in the process, effectively.
Yeah.
So really, really cool. Lots of stuff that you can do on that side of things.
Yeah, that is really cool, actually.
So obviously, don't become a pest. There is a fine line between persistence and being annoying. And this is through the questioning that you need to identify what is their pain points and what are they looking for, and can you actually help them. Don't just be one of those annoying, telesale calls that call and just trying to sell you something.
Somebody said to me the other day, a salesperson said, and I jokingly went, "Oh, you're annoying," and they said, "You're only actually annoying when somebody says it." So. Point taken. And I thought that's quite interesting, isn't it? Because is that too far when somebody has to say it? Again, I think it's a cultural thing. If somebody has to say, "Oh, you're annoying," even if it's half joking, which we tend to do in this country, our culture is a bit, a bit tongue in cheek as well. But I think, I don't know. I think you should give it your all. And if somebody goes, "Oh, bloody hell, you're annoying," or you're persistent.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing as a trait to have. But it's knowing that there's a fine line. As an example, the guy that phones you all the time about the software that you want, he's almost persistent to the nth degree, very abrupt and rude in some calls. You kind of tell him to jog on a bit, and then he'll phone back the next day almost going, "Hey, how's it going?"
Yeah, he does. And what's funny there is he'll send me a message saying, "So we're done. I'll take you off my list." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll come back to you. Like I like your software. I'll come back to you when I'm ready. I'm just doing a few bits." And so I think that's great. I'll get back to them when I'm ready. And then a week later, I get another call, another missed call. And then but he has a day where he'll ring me like 5 or 6 times. And it's just like, no, I'm not ready. And then I actually feel bad because I think I shouldn't, because I think I've made it clear.
Well, if you've told them you're going to get back to them, I think that's...
But that's an American salesperson. And I love the American sales. I think it's great because I think they understand it like salespeople. It's a real industry. Like... they treat it with respect. That sales position is a career, it's a job, it's serious stuff. But I just think there's certain niceties that certainly my experience with American salespeople has been like it's quite full on. It's quite like, look, you're not buying, that's fine, we're off. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then that's not the case. They're coming back and they want more. So. I think the Brits we need to do a bit more of it, and maybe the Americans need to do a bit less for us. There needs to be a meeting ground, but we can learn from both, and I think that's a good key. So,
one thing when following up is don't come across desperate. That's one of the biggest things is do not be desperate. Do not come across in a position of being desperate. Whether that's you're raising finance and you may be desperate, but don't come across like you're desperate, because otherwise that's just going to put people off.
And it's that whole thing of like, don't go shopping when you're hungry sort of thing. I believe that's the same as when you're networking and trying to find and meet people. If you're desperate, that's not if you're having one of those days, I really need to do this to get where I need to be. That's not, for me, that's not the time to be having them meetings. You need to almost actually just give yourself some breathing space, calm it down. And because as much as you might say all the right things and the same things you would maybe a couple of days later, by giving yourself a bit of time, just brings you down a bit, and I think that just gives you some breathing space, and you'll come across a lot better. But people can read desperate very quick, and also it just plays with your brain, and then you won't actually project yourself how you want to be perceived.
Mindset is a massive thing.
Massive.
The way you come across to people and how you talk to yourself. Massively.
And also, like, again, I know I'm always talking about myself, but in my experience, sometimes when I really want a job, now it's not so much desperate, I just really want the job. I want a particular project because I like it, I like the way it's been designed or something about it. And I don't want the client to know how much I want that job because I don't want to be on the back foot. I'll have one of my colleagues who's, you know, an equal to me, I'll have them lead that and almost go, look, do you mind? Because I don't want them to think I'm too excited about it.
But in the same thing, you're passionate about what you want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that was good there is that he'll say, you know, Kieron is really interested in this project, really likes it, whereas I'll probably be like a little giddy girl and be like all excited, and then I'll lose track of it. And so yeah, find just, you know, I'm not saying do that for yourselves, but just find mechanisms at work. Sometimes just putting space between that day of real, you know, I need it to happen today. Give yourself time, taking a step back. And it could just be like before a meeting, just have a breather. You know, just go for a walk, calm it down a little bit, think it through, and don't overthink. That's another thing.
No, that's normally my fault. Is I think about what ifs and what nots, and actually it comes back to like, what are the facts? Let's deal with the facts.
Deal with the facts.
Yeah,
that's what you should be doing.
Don't go down the rabbit hole of all the scenarios that could go wrong. Go into a meeting with the best case scenario and ultimately the outcome that you're looking for. And invariably that helps a lot. Again, it just comes away. You know, if I have an important phone call, I generally stand up and walk around because I feel more comfortable than sat down, hunched over, or anything like that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do that, don't they? Yeah. We'll see you going on a wander.
Yeah. But definitely, you know, like I say, have those systems in place, have those time frames of getting back to people, and it's just the touch points. You just want to be keeping regular updates so people know you there, and if there is anything that does change in their circumstances, or, you know, funding's available or whatever, you are the front of mind.
Yep.
So follow-up is a superpower in anything that you're doing, whether that's in the dating world, whether that's in the business or sales world or property development. Follow-up is key, and I highly recommend that you keep doing it. Don't stop at a no unless it's a firm no that they not interested right now. Again, you can follow up in a few months and see what's going on.
Yeah, I think that's key, isn't it? I mean, if you took the sort of phrase "I'm not interested" versus "I'm not interested right now."
Yeah.
But even if somebody says I'm not interested, you can ask, is that not interested right now, or just look, you're absolutely never in? And then people will say, look, it's just not for me, never interested. Great, strike them off your list. Put them in another list that never to call or never to contact. You know, and that's fine. Or maybe even still push them down a couple of years down the line, because people can change their mind. But also it's you know, that's crucial. You know, once you've sort of pitched in your way, get that feedback, because you don't want to waste your own time as much as their time. And, you know, people can still not sort of buy from you or want to network or whatever you're pitching, be involved with what you're doing, but they might like you and they might tell somebody else about you. And that's important as well. So although they may not be a buyer of your services or anything, there's people they may know do. And
I think that's something that you should ask for, is always ask for referrals. If they know someone that might be interested, I think that could also lead to business. Definitely it works in the Windows business as well.
And I actually find as well, we've started playing golf, we're crap at it, but we've started playing it, and that's quite a good link, because you can also, you know, when you say if you play a 4-ball and you're chatting to someone and you go, well, if you've got any other friends who'd like to come along who's similar interests or might be interested in what we're looking at or offering, there's a space there, then they can think, oh, well, we want a 4-ball, we want someone to come in and fill that. Who could I bring that has something in common or might be interested in what they're offering? So give opportunities and think about that. You know, it's not you do have to plan these things, you do have to think about it, and there's nothing wrong with that. So
that was it for this week's episode. It's just very short and sweet, but it's such an important topic, the follow-up, because that could be your next investor, your next deal, your next opportunity with the agents. That's it from us. Like always, learn, build and scale. I'm Jonathan Stobbs.
And I'm Kieron Shepherd.
Until next time.
See you again.
Speak soon.